Hello and welcome to another budget video. I get paid every other Friday, so every other week I film this video, show you how I budget my money. I think showing you how I spend on my lifestyle to juggle paying off debt, investing to retire early, and living life right now is fun. I think it's fun. Those are the things I value. I really want security, but I'm not willing to sacrifice everything for it. My student loans are my main focus right now. I am paying off 6 figures of student loan debt. I took out those student loans to pay for my doctorate in occupational therapy. I currently work as an occupational therapist. That's how I earn my money. And we are gonna go ahead and budget. I do split expenses with my boyfriend, so we have this kind of hodgepodge combined budget that shows how we afford our lifestyle. He likes his privacy, and that's totally fair, so I only share what he contributes to our lifestyle. Everything else that he makes beyond what he contributes to our lifestyle is invested or saved for a specific goal. With that, we live below our means. We live even below our means with this budget that we have here. We budget basically $10,000 a month, give or take, like just under. And I have an exciting update on that front that I'll just go ahead and share now. No, I'll share it later. Stick around. So like I do at the start of every video, I'm gonna log into my banking account and see how much was direct deposited into my account. The answer is $2,214.73 for this paycheck. So let's go ahead and log that. $2,214.73. And that is income, woohoo, from my job. I did work on MLK, so that has a little bit of holiday pay. Next up is that Jake got paid $2,500 is what he contributes to us. And then last but not least, I made a little bit of money off of social media, a whopping $17.73 from my Etsy store last week. So those are the 3 bits of income that we're gonna budget with today. Last month, we rolled over $811.01 with this budget. That's money we didn't spend or assign. Realistically, that money got saved. A little bit high because last month I didn't have to make a car payment, and that is $650 just about. But we are gonna make a car payment this month, so I'm not gonna budget this money. And it's just going to continue to roll over and be our buffer for this year if we have any overspending. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to assign money for a car payment. This is my first bill that's like actually due every single month. My car loan is $628, but my goal is going to be to just pay $650 flat. It's not that much higher. It's not going to make a difference really in terms of like paying off my loan. Like it might save me, I don't know, my last payment might be a little bit lower if I were to pay for 6 years. But ultimately my goal is going to be to pay off my student loans or at least get those to a really good point. I receive a $200 contribution from my work, and so there will come a time and a place where it just doesn't make sense to pay them off because that contribution doesn't then get pocketed to me if I don't have student loans. It's just a benefit. And so when I get my minimum payment down to my last loan, it'll make sense to just put that $200 plus maybe like $150 of my own money to that loan and then save like a payoff fund so I can walk away from my job whenever I want, but not actually pay that loan off. Because if I stay at my job until the loan is paid off, then it's just free money that goes into my account. That's complicated. Basically, I'm gonna get my loans paid down to just having that last loan left probably this year. Like and subscribe to help support that. It's a little over $40,000 total until I'm at that point. And then once I have just the one loan left, I'm gonna start focusing on paying off my car loan early. We decided to finance a car because we don't keep that much cash on hand, so it made more sense to have a low interest rate. My interest rate on the car is like 4% than to pull money out of the market that earned 18% last year and will likely continue to earn more than 4%. What we were saving for a car to hypothetically pay in cash one day was more than what the car payment was, so we were able to fit this car payment just like really nicely into our budget without affecting any other categories. So it made sense to do the car loan. I will pay it off early just because I don't like owing people money, but just because I don't like owing people money doesn't mean that I have to make less money in the long run. So long story long, I'm gonna go ahead and make a $650 payment to my car, and then that's just all on a bank, so I'm not going to bring you along for those, but know that I did pay it off. The current balance is about $39,000. The next thing that I'm going to do is make a $1,200 payment to my student loans. And if you are a longtime follower, then you're like, Sandra, you usually make a $1,000 payment to your student loans first. Because I had that holiday pay, that's an extra $200 that will go to my loans. So I'm just going to go ahead and boop, $1,200 to debt, and this is a payment that you guys can join me for. My current total balance on my student loans is $72,176.65. The loan that I'm currently trying to pay off aggressively is $8,518.84. And here's the deal. All right, I'll tell you my news. I'll spoil the surprise. I actually have had a very interesting month, and I'm in the middle of making a decision. We recently found out about some market adjustments at work in the healthcare space, specifically non-union healthcare groups. It's really common for every 5 years for a hospital to look at their lowest paid employees in a certain field, bring them up to the median for the market. So in the Denver market, I was at the bottom 2% of our therapy field. I tried to ask for more money when I got hired. They basically were like, we don't negotiate. I was making about $39 an hour, totaled about $80,000 a year. Turns out that was 18% below the market average. I'd been infuriated by this for a really long time. I didn't know how much, but I just knew that I wasn't making enough. And so they brought me up to the median, which is an 18% adjustment for me, bringing my hourly rate to about $45 and my yearly salary to about $93,000. The interesting thing with this is that finding out that we were doing a market adjustment to finding out what my market adjustment was about 2 days. Before that 2 days started, I had started interviewing for other opportunities in that, that you have the salary discussions. I gave my number knowing the information that I had at the time and was offered a job at that number. It is a job in a different field that would be a career change. It would be a work-life balance change, a lifestyle change. And now the money situation just isn't different. So I have to make a choice strictly based on job. I am making about $13,000 to $15,000 more per year. I don't know what that decision is going to be, but the finances are impacted regardless. My current rate is in place right now. So this paycheck that we're budgeting right now is going to be my last paycheck at my old hourly rate, and then the next one will have the higher rate. I'm telling you all of this because my student loan payments are also going to go up. With that raise, that is an extra 18% per year that I'm putting straight to my debt, and that is how I am planning to get about $30,000 to $40,000 of debt paid off in the next year. I don't know what I'm going to do job-wise. That's something that's got to come from right here. All that to say is this month is going to be heavy on the student loans, and I'm really excited about that. Total current balance, $72,176. I'm going to make my minimum payments to each of my loans with the extra money going to my highest interest loan. And that'll just bring the balance down a little bit, but that will allow me to put $1,500 for my next payment straight to this loan, which will be a huge drop. Huge. So that'll be good. What is this one? 225? Sure, we'll take it. 65? Sure, we'll take it. This is a guesstimate on what my minimum payments are. I don't have those memorized. I know generally where they're at. This one's 363, which leaves me with, oh God, I need a calculator. It's $347 to this one. That is a $1,200 payment. We're going to advance my payments, yada, yada, yada. The other thing I did earlier this week is I made a $17 payment to my student loan from my Etsy payout. So if you've bought my budget template, thank you. You have helped me pay off my student loans. That leaves us $3,693 left to assign, give or take. That's not true. That's including this. Let's go ahead and save some money. Quick overview. My travel is not actually negative. I just need to account for Jake's bucket in here. We did buy plane tickets last month, and we funded that partially from my bucket, partially from Jake's bucket. But this only includes my bucket. So he had $700. So we're positive $200. Let's also go ahead and assign my extra expenses. So that's $200. $75, and $55. We have a little bit of a bucket building here for subscriptions because we have a couple annual subscriptions and then I'm going to leave my necessary expenses for the next paycheck. Let's do that. $625. This gets auto pulled, but it'll be good to mark it. That way, with my next paycheck, I'm just assigning all of my necessary expenses and making that extra student loan payment, and that'll be really good. The reason that I like how I budget is because I do a zero-based budget, so I make sure that every dollar has a job. That also means that I'm prioritizing my goals because I'm making sure that my money is going to work to pay off my debt or to fund my fund money. So instead of putting whatever's extra at the end of the month towards a financial goal, I am prioritizing it, and then I don't have any guilt when I'm spending money because I know that the money has already gotten that job. My spending categories are relatively low. I do spend within that $200 a month on everything except for the $75 that we spend eating out together, and I'm okay with that right now. I have a list of things on my phone that I want to buy once I pay off my student loans, which is probably not the way to go about it because it's I don't know, I'm gonna go on a heyday, but also I can go on a heyday if I'm debt free. I want a bike, new ski setup. We're talking, I'm probably gonna spend $5,000 on toys, and then we'll just invest more aggressively. But even with that, right now, $2,000 to $3,000 a month goes to my student loans. So I'll be able to afford to take 2 months, fund things that are going to add a ton of quality of life to my life, and then go back to really investing. But yeah, basically I like knowing that my money is going to work for me, and whether that is like working for me in terms of investments or towards a financial goal, or working for me in order to fund my quality of life. Having a zero-based budget makes sure that I'm prioritizing all of those things. And I've set that budget once and I don't have to think about it every single month, and then I'm not also just putting whatever's left over towards a goal. But it's not like a afterthought where some months it's $100, some months it's $1,000. I always know that I'm working towards my goals. If you want to see how I budget my raise, stick around for the next 2 weeks, because I will be sharing that. I'll probably be sharing an updated budget in the next couple weeks, because it is a significant increase. We're not talking 3%, 18% is bonkers. So I'm probably just going to share a completely updated budget too. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.